Requirements for EB2 national interest waiver. Requirement number 1, in order to be considered, you need to establish either that by evidence that you have advanced degree or you are a member of profession, for example, lawyer, doctor, CPA, etc. Or you have extraordinary ability and you can actually supply evidence that is establishing this claim. Okay, just because you think you are extraordinary, that's not going to be sufficient. So one of these two, either advanced degree or extraordinary. Number 2, moving on, you have to establish that you are well positioned to carry on this proposed endeavor. So what this means is that you have the skills, you have the qualification, you have the talents, you have the experience, you have the knowledge, you are the great deal, you are the special person, and only you, because you are well positioned, because all of that, to carry on this endeavor, right? So just because you're doing something, right? For example, you're doing research and it is definitely national importance. There is definitely national importance in your research, but maybe you're not really good researcher and maybe you are not well positioned to carry on this endeavor and you will be challenged, right? Or maybe you're doing something where you actually are well positioned, but whatever you do is no biggie for United States and you won't be approved, okay? So you have to establish both. It has to have substantial merit, it has to have national importance, and then you have to be well positioned to carry on this endeavor. Typically, the third prong is easy to establish because you have to establish in the third prong that it would be impractical for you to obtain the labor certification, and it would be highly difficult, or even if there are other workers available, you're still not going to really negatively impact the market. So what do I mean by that? Typically, you have to secure the labor certification in order to be eligible, right, for EB2 green card. But in this case, we're talking about the waiver. You want to obtain the waiver from the Department of Labor, so you don't really want to get the perm, because you want to skip that and you want to get right away your green card, right? So you can get it if you establish by the evidence that you actually, it would be impractical for you to get this green card, get this perm certification. It doesn't make any sense. And also you are not endangering other workers. You're not endangering other people in the market, other people, we're talking about US citizens who need this position, right? So for example, if you're self-employed, it could make sense that you will not secure this labor certification because you are self-employed. But even if you're self-employed, it doesn't necessarily mean just because you're self-employed, you can actually right away apply for waiver, right? You have to establish the other requirements. So it's a fairly complex procedure and it's a fairly complex case. And I highly recommend that if you are on E2 visa right now, if you are doing things that are in national interest, it doesn't have to be the scope of entire United States, but it has importance, right, for United States. You are benefiting culturally the United States, or maybe you're benefiting United States economically. Many of these E2 visa investors are benefiting United States economically, right? Maybe you created jobs. And that is how you can actually establish that importance, national importance. Also, that activity, that endeavor you're doing has to have substantial merit, right? And also you need to be well positioned. So if you're somebody who is just pretending to be well positioned, or you're just claiming without evidence, that's not going to be enough. You have to submit evidence and prove that you are well positioned. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have awards, right? Anything like that. Well, for example, recommendation letters will definitely help, but not necessarily, because these recommendation letters, they are advisory, right? So the value, in my opinion, has a real evidence that is actually proving that you are well positioned, and it can be any kind of evidence. That's why it requires creativity and good lawyer to help you out.